Pre-recorded from Joe's mom's basement, welcome to another rewind episode of the Stacking Benjamin Show. Hey everyone, I'm Griffin the Intern, or like the ladies down at the DMV like to call me, the Fintern. So how's the day going for the Fintern, you ask? Well, after camping out in front of the DMV since 5 this morning, it turns out I forgot my wallet to pay the fees. By the time I got back home, I checked the time and saw that I was late for the job here in the basement. Not that it really matters, after all, I'm the only one here like usual, but my big concern? By the time I swing back around the DMV, there will be a huge line. It's almost not worth it to go back today. Wait, what's this? A Magic 8 Ball? There's a note, too. It looks like I'm supposed to be playing last January's Magic 8 Ball episode for you. For those new to the show, each year we ask Len Penzo's Magic 8 Ball some questions to see what the future holds. Looks like Joe wanted to jump on the fun and grabbed his own. Okay, here we go. Magic 8 Ball. Will I spend all day at the DMV? Just a little shake and ask again later? All right, one more time. And the answer is maybe? Okay, I gotta tell Joe his 8 Ball is faulty. Anyways, Monday, Joe and OG are back with their annual What Should We Have Learned This Year episode, this time featuring CBS business analyst and host of the Better Off podcast, Jill Schlesinger, followed by Jen Sincero on Wednesday, and the new Magic 8 Ball episode next Friday. What a great week! And remember, don't enter any mentioned giveaways or take investment advice from this episode. Partly because this episode was released back in January of this year, and partly because we got our advice from a Magic 8 Ball. Happy New Year, Fintern out.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman.
Hello.
Good boy.
Live from Joe's mom's basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor Doug, and according to this here 8 Ball, without a doubt, you are most certain to absolutely love today's show. Because we're peering into Len Penzo's Magic 8 Ball to predict the future. To help us do that, from lenpenzo.com, it's this here podcast's very own Nostradamus, Len Penzo. And from Afford Anything will, without a doubt, bring you Paula Pant. And now, a guy who always told his kids, ask again later, Joe Saul Seahigh.
Hey, and welcome to the first Friday of 2018. I am Joe Saul Seahigh, Average Joe Money on Twitter, and this is maybe my favorite episode of the year. So let's get the team here. We're going to start off in the desert of Las Vegas, Nevada, where all the action is happening, especially in the closet, where Paula Pant returns for a glorious brand new year.
Absolutely. I am back in the closet for 2018. Hey, this is where the podcast magic happens.
And you're crouching in your closet, right?
No, I'm seated. I actually have upgraded. I used to just sit on the floor of the closet, but now I sit on a chair.
That is fake.
Hashtag lifestyle inflation.
And it's all downhill from here, Paula. Next thing you know, you're buying a Lamborghini.
And then I'll be sitting on the seats of the Lamborghini rather than the floor.
Absolutely. And a guy who sits in seats in a bunker somewhere deep underneath Los Angeles, California. How about that transition? It's Mr. Len Penzo.
Yes, and it's nice and toasty. I got the fireplace going down here. It is awesome, Joe.
You have to use your fireplace in Los Angeles?
Well, it's the only place I can legally use a fireplace. I mean, it's not legally, it's illegal, but it's the place I can get away with a fire.
Right, but it's like,
they don't want the carbons going up into the sky. But
what's that smoke? Nothing.
It's a smoke signal, yes.
Right. I'm telling all my fans, hello, we're getting ready to do the Magic 8 Ball, which, by the way, you got the 8 Ball all warmed up today? Do you have the 8 Ball do stretches or any calisthenics, or maybe talk to its friends like at the Miss Cleo Psychic Hotline or any of that stuff?
Well, first thing we did is we got into the corner and we had a nice little pep talk. I got the 8 Ball all amped up and it is ready to go, Joe.
For those people new to the show, they have no idea what the heck we're talking about, Len. But on your blog for many, many years, the Magic 8 Ball had a phenomenal track record.
Yes, it did. And for a while there, it was pushing 70% over a period of about 4 or 5 years in predictions.
And then it came over to the podcast, had a wonderful first 2 years. In the third year, took a royal dump. And then last year kind of redeemed itself a little bit to get above 500.
It was close. Yes, it was close. And I'm hoping, because I can't remember what we did last year, the questions. I am looking forward to this year and seeing how the 8-ball did.
We got everything queued up. We are about ready to go. But you know what? We have to say a couple thank yous first. Thank you to Audible for supporting Stacking Benjamins. For a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial, head to audible.com/SB or text SB to 500-500. That's audible.com/SB or text SB to 500-500. Paula, you doing any Audible in right now? You calling an Audible?
Are you kidding? I'm secretly listening to an Audible book while
Right
so that I can tune you out.
That's right. Did you say something, Joe?
What?
Yes. Len, what last time? See, Len's so old, Paula, he still calls them books on tape.
Books on tape? Are you kidding me? I'm still using the kind with made of paper and hardback and softback.
What is that? Paula has no idea.
People see me. I'm on an airplane and I've got a paper book, and people are looking at me like I'm nuts.
I have to admit, despite my status as a millennial, I actually prefer physical paper books.
I do too. I like listening to books first, and then I like paper books, and just the Kindle thing I can't do. I have a hard time. Yeah,
it's not the same.
No, not the same. Hey, we're also brought to you by Magnify Money. If you want to save a quick $450, which is what the average person saves that heads to Magnify Money, head to stackingbenjamins.com/Magnify Money so they know that we sent you. As Mom said, tell them we sent you. Because when you go there, not only can you do the debt cleanse like we talked with Nick Clements back on Wednesday about getting your debt in order, you can consolidate your loans, get those student loans taken care of, maybe consolidate the credit card debt, or look for a better checking account or savings account, all that and more, stackingbenjamins.com/Magnify Money. We are magnifying this podcast. How's that? I don't know where to go with that. We're looking into the magnifying glass at the Magic 8-Ball. That's how bad. That's how bad Len Penzo's. That's how bad Len Penzo's vision is now. I don't know. So we're throwing the format out the window. We've got that. We're taking your questions in the brand new I've got a financial problem segment. So that's new for 2018. Yeah. And Paula and Len, you guys are going to help us with that. So let's move. All right, brand new, no headlines this year. This week. If this takes a year, we're in trouble, Paula.
I think this is taking a year from my life.
It is. She's like, it's taken a year already. We're only through the intro. Let's start off with the track record for last year and see how we did on last year's predictions. So I've got what we said last year. Let's go back in time here. Let's step in the time machine and take a listen to the first prediction. This is from 1 year ago today.
So let's see what we got here. Who wants to ask it? But Paula, you want to ask the first question this year?
Sure. Well, let's throw back to Kate Middleton because this has become an annual tradition. But this time I'm going to ask about a different member of the royal family.
Ooh.
Will Prince Harry announce an engagement for marriage to somebody?
By the way, Paula, this is just to stop for a second, come back to modern times. What a brilliant question.
That was a great question.
I am shocked. I vaguely remember asking this, but right now, if you can, I realize this is a podcast, nobody can see my face, but jaw on ground.
Immediately.
Well, let's wait and see with the 8-ball. I hope the 8-ball got this one right.
Of course.
I'm just going to pat myself on the back for asking that question.
And of course, to those people that don't follow the royal family, because although she doesn't follow movies, she follows the royal family, Paula, that happened.
Yes. Oh, it happened in a big way.
Yeah.
Actually, you should have asked the pregnancy question too, because finally it didn't.
That's right. Well, and everybody in our Facebook group, I remember that was in January, and everybody said we missed it by like 2 weeks, if I remember right. Yeah. So 8-ball was close, but let's see what it did here.
The answer is, my sources say no. No.
Prince Harry's gonna be a bachelor.
Hello, ladies.
Len?
Oh, brother.
You want to apologize?
I'm disappointed.
Apologize on behalf of the Magic 8 Ball?
I'm not okay. On behalf of the 8 Ball, yes. But let's remember last year. I do remember this. The 8 Ball started very slowly last year and then made a miraculous comeback. If you remember,
that's right.
It was like 0 for 5, and then it made a stunning comeback and did pretty good.
That was still just a brilliant question to ask.
I am still patting myself on the back for asking that question.
The score.
I'm so proud of myself.
The score right now is Paula 1, 8 Ball 0. Right. Well, hopefully, though, the 8 Ball catches up. Let's see. This was our second prediction for the year 2017. Let's have a listen.
Yeah. All right, Len, my turn. Will this stock market rise continue in 2017? We're going to beat 10% again in 2017 for the bajillionth year in a row.
And of course, we did.
Yes.
We had a fantastic year. So how about that, Paula? I'm on that train. Hey.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
What?
You're making a leap here. It's like fear of heights. Fantastic.
Paula, you asked the questions. You got credit. I asked the question. So, Len, don't I get credit? Come on.
That was a good question, but Paula's is just out of the park so far. That was a heck of a question.
All right, let's go.
Okay, we'll give you some credit.
Let's go back in time, and I tried to manufacture a pat on the back there. Let's go back in time and see how the 8 Ball did.
I'm laughing because it says better not tell you now. So let me ask again. You gotta ask nicely, Joe. You ask the question. Be nice. It probably didn't like your tone of voice.
Please, Magic 8 Ball, may I learn whether the stock market is going to go up by at least 10% again in 2017? Is that
you
better?
may rely on it.
Well,
you may rely on it. Yes.
The market
good
up
news
again.
Good news for the Bulls.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Bam!
I feel like a proud papa. I feel like a parent watching his kid up on stage, and I live and die with every answer here.
I bet it's the rest of your year's all downhill from here, Len.
Oh no,
Paula, wouldn't it suck to have nothing else to look forward to after today? It'd be just horrible.
Maybe the Magic 8 Ball will get its own chair.
Maybe someday. All right, let's go on and listen to the third person. So now the score is Magic 8 Ball 1 to Magic 8 Ball non-1 or whatever. 1-1. Well, I don't know. I did that wrong. Magic 8 Ball's got one right, one wrong. Here we go. We're at 500.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Here we go. Let's go back in time.
Len, it's your turn.
Okay. In my tradition of not asking a financial question first, I'm going to, I had some nice brickwork done on my columns of my house, also on the outer portion of my bunker. And there's been some shaking going on here in Southern California, quite a few. And I want to know, will there be an earthquake magnitude 6.8 or larger centered somewhere in Southern California?
Oh, that's a big boy.
Prior to, and we'll say December 1st.
Okay.
So, Len, your head was kind of on where the year went. I mean, listening to Jean Chatzky on the show the last week of the year, she talked about all of the natural disasters in 2017. So your question was there.
There were a lot of them. This was probably one of the worst years for natural disasters in the U.S. and U.S. territories.
Horrible. Houston, California, I mean, all over, Puerto Rico, all over the place.
Yeah.
So, but luckily, we didn't have that 6.8.
Thank God.
Yes. So let's see if the 8 Ball got this right.
Thank goodness. It says don't count on it.
Oh, that's good news.
Oh my gosh, that's really good news because that brickwork could be trashed.
Yeah. Well, and your bunker's in the ground, and if the ground starts shaking, that's a tough deal there.
Yeah, no kidding.
So congratulations, Len.
Oh my God, I'm like a proud papa. This is awesome.
Paula is now at 66% success.
If Len starts crying, Paula, though, we got to go. we can't have him start crying in the middle of the podcast. I'm so happy.
Well, let's keep going, Joe. I'm excited now.
Yes, let's go. Next one.
Will an ETF representing Chile and specifically ticker symbol ECH, will it rise in value by at least 20% between its value on December 1st, 2016 to its value on December 1st, 2017.
What
minds want to know.
Yeah, Paula.
Wow, that was an awfully specific question.
Just again, what a fantastic question.
It wasn't as fantastic as the Prince Harry getting engaged. I mean,
Oh my God.
nobody could have seen that coming at the end of 2017.
Yeah, but if I remember, what most people don't know is that you were going for Ecuador and you couldn't find one, so we went with Chile instead.
That's true.
That's the Stacking Benjamins way. We're like, screw it, we're going with Chile.
Talking about not learning anything.
So guess what? I did the homework on this. And you said at least 20%. And during that time frame, guess what the Chilean average went up by?
I am reading the year-to-date return right now because I've just Googled it.
But
should I let the cat out of the bag?
No, but through December 1st, 19.98%.
What? Oh!
It missed it by 0.02. So if the magic 8 ball says no, it's not going to do it.
Wait a minute. The fact that I said 20% means that I am going to pat myself on the back yet again.
19.98%. Yes. Yeah. So, all right. We ready?
Hey, hold on here. The 8 ball's the one going out on a limb. You're just asking the question. Let's get to the 8. What did the 8 ball say, Joe?
Here we go. Did it say, yes, it's going to go over 20%?
And the answer is, don't count on it, Paula. Don't count on it.
All right.
Wow.
How about that?
Well,
It's my 8 ball.
8 ball correct again.
Correct by a hair.
0.02%. It doesn't get much hairier than that.
Prince Harrier.
No, but I'm bummed. 75%, Len. How proud are you now?
I'm very proud. And we engineers have a term for something that close. We call it an RCH.
What's that mean?
You have to look that up, folks.
I'm guessing that's not a ticker symbol.
No, it's not.
RCH.
No, don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Radio Club de Honduras. Railway Clearinghouse. Royal Canadian Hussars?
Hey, no. Don't
I'm
even
looking at the Wikipedia article.
I thought he was.
It's an off-color joke. Okay, let's move on.
I thought he was going to say, Paula, we call it BS. Look that one up. Right. All right. Let's move on. It's now 8 ball 3 to non-8 ball 1. 75% correct so far. Let's see how we're doing.
All right. So my favorite baseball team is the Detroit Tigers, Len, and I'm a big baseball fan. So I got to ask this one. Will the Detroit Tigers return to the baseball playoffs in 2017?
Good question. Let's find out. Joe, I'm sorry. Outlook, not so good.
I keep saying we have to fire the manager.
So you know what's cool? The Detroit Tigers did not make the playoffs, and they fired the manager. How brilliant is that?
Oh, my gosh. This is like Christmas all over again, Joe.
Paul, you think Len's going to skip to work tomorrow?
Probably.
Everybody's going
I
to say.
think Len's going to get an 8-ball tattoo.
That's right.
That's a good idea, Paula.
Yes. At this point, last year he wanted to disown it by this point in the show.
Hey, it redeemed itself at the end. Hopefully we don't do the reverse this time.
The 8 ball's at 80%. You should put the 8 ball like on eBay and start an auction for it right now.
I just might.
Because where do you go from here, right? Like Jim Cramer always says, he's like, sell on the news, right? You get the good news, sell on the news. Like, this is the news, Len.
We're front running. We're front running right now.
Yeah. Where do you go from here? Let's take a listen.
All right, Len, you are up. Save us.
All right. Hey, I noticed the 10-year Treasury yield has been climbing.
Yeah.
I want to know, will it be above 3%? We'll set the date of December 1st. Will the 10-year Treasury yield be above 3% on December 1st?
That's a monster gain.
That is a monster gain. Yes, it is. Let's find out.
Hold on, Len. What do you? I'm still back now a year ago. What the hell are you thinking with the 3%?
Well, you know me. I'm Mr. Doom and Gloom. I was expecting hyperinflation.
Yeah. So the 10-year Treasury, for those of you wondering what the heck that's actually at, the 10-year Treasury as of December 20th, because of our recording schedule, was briefly over 2.5%. So, Len, you came within 0.5%, but still a heck of a long way in Treasury terms from 3%.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what did the 8 ball? Let's get to the meat of it. What did the 8 ball say?
Who cares what the question was? Everybody lean into you.
I would just like to take this opportunity to once again remind everybody I came within 0.02%.
And I said Prince Harry.
And I will take the opportunity to say the 8 ball was insightful enough to actually know that it wouldn't top 20%.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Let's see.
Hold on. Oh, and it says I got a bubble problem again here. Oh, it says most likely. Ooh,
Wow.
Most likely.
It was so good, Len. It was so good.
We were on a roll.
We're now at
Len, I believe this is what's known as reversion to the mean.
It could be. Let's see what happens on the next one.
And that reversion sure gets mean when it gets mean. Yeah. Next thing you know, we're taking
Remember, let's go back to another glory of the 8 ball. The 8 ball predicted Trump would be president.
Pretty soon we're taking the 8 ball out of the gutter. Taking the Johnny Walker out of its hand. Right. Well, actually, we're not there yet. It's still at 66%. That's still awfully good. We're still rocking. So let's see where we go from here.
Yeah, let's not.
Will we be able to find a savings account when we record this next year at Magnify Money that pays higher than 1.5%?
And the answer is, by the way, right now, as we record this, it's at 1.5%. So the answer is no.
Right now, the highest we can find is 1.1.
Come on, baby. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. Yes.
Oh, that's good news.
That is good news.
Well, and those two go hand in hand. So I'm glad it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The answer is no, unfortunately.
Shoot.
Here comes the mean, Paula.
Oh, darn it.
The mean.
We're still above 500. We're still above 500.
We went so far. I want to listen to the rest of this. Let's go back in the time machine for just another second.
They do. They're not in conflict. That is correct.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm glad the 8 ball answered yes on both of those. So that's good stuff. All right. Do you guys have
8 ball is a very consistent investment advisor.
Thank God for that.
Even when it's wrong, it just goes down in flames.
Yeah, the 8 ball's drunk this year, Len.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, I mean,
you haven't even asked it a question yet.
It's all over the place. Well, let's see. Here we go. Next one.
Spencer asks,
so now we're getting to fans questions. So before fans, the 8 ball was 4 it got right, 3 it got wrong. Respectable, over 500. Let's see how it did with Stacking Benjamin's fans.
Spencer asks, will Len put his bunker to use in 2017? Is the apocalypse here? He qualifies. So, Len, is the apocalypse here? Will you be putting your bunker to use in 2017?
And just as an aside, now I have to play this because we have to define what the apocalypse actually means. And Paula comes to the rescue. Here we go.
You know what you could do? You know what we could do? Armageddon. Wouldn't you agree the price of gold, if Armageddon came, would be 5 figures or higher?
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Shall we say that? Will gold get to $10,000?
We could even make that easier. If we just have, let's say, will the price of gold triple? Why don't we do that?
Okay. And I don't think that would be Armageddon, but I think that would be pain, but for a lot of people, but yes. Okay. Will the price of gold triple? So what is the price of gold right now?
What's funny is I thought, Paula, you came to the rescue, but apparently it's not on this question. Apparently you come to the rescue on every other question, but not this one. All right. Let's see.
Does that mean I came to the rescue?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Led to the rescue. All right. Let's go back in time again and finish this thing off.
Okay. Will the price of gold triple? So what is the price of gold right now? It's $1,142.
There you go.
So
and will it triple by December 1st?
By December 1st. Will the price of gold triple by December 1st? Okay. My sources say no.
All right. Well, that's good.
Hey, it's back on the winning track, Len.
Good, because you know what? We need good news here. That's good. Let's keep rolling.
Absolutely.
We're now what are we at here? We're at 5 out of 8. So
5.
That's whatever that is. That's
it's
60
good.
some percent.
It's good stuff.
Len, for someone who has so many investments in gold, you have a funny definition of good news. It did triple this year.
Hey, when you're talking about family, family trumps money, and my 8-ball is doing well. So
there. Are you saying the 8-ball's family? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's my family. Heck yeah.
He's the proud father.
He is the proud father. Let's see if he stays proud, Paula. Here we go.
Let's see if we can continue that streak. Andrew asks, will the Fed continue to raise rates? He says causing an unprecedented saving spree. Maybe not unprecedented, Andrew, but I get what you're saying. So what are we going to say by the Fed continuing? Is one raise in 2017 enough? Because they raised it at the end of 2016. So should we say 2 raises, 3 raises?
Well, how many Fed meetings are there? There's 4? At least 4 that they do isn't there?
Yeah.
Let's continue. So we'll go 2. You want to go 2?
2. Yeah, let's go 2 raises.
All right.
The bad news.
3.
Yeah, the bad news. I was going to say we had 3. So, so the answer here is that the 8-ball should say no, right?
Wait, what was the question?
How was the question phrased?
None of us could remember.
The question is, would they continue raising? Right?
Hold on. Let's see how we phrased it. Let's see how we phrased it.
Or there's 4, at least 4 that they do isn't there?
Yeah.
Let's continue. So we'll go 2. You want to go 2?
So,
2. Yeah, let's go 2
So the answer
raises.
is yes.
All right.
So the answer is yes. Here we go. Hold on to your hats, people. Oh, my sources say no. So once again, the 8-ball is going to its sources.
Oh boy.
Darn it.
Oh boy.
So
The 8-ball should have known that. The 8-ball should have known. Janet Yellen was telegraphing that all year long.
Damn it, 8-ball. I love how the 8-ball 15 minutes ago was your best buddy, and now you're.
That one's kind of infuriating.
I would
the
not.
8-ball should have known better.
Paul, I wouldn't want to be one of Len's employees at work.
Next, Len is going to say that like Mercury was in retrograde. And that's why the 8-ball didn't perform.
That moody 8-ball.
That one hurts. The 8-ball really should have known better.
All right, but wait, there's more.
What's the score right now?
It is 5. Yes, 5 it got right. 4 it's gotten wrong. So
very close.
Holding its head over 500. Let's see if we can keep it there.
Next question comes to us from Melinda, which was, will the economy be financially better with the new presidential administration? How do we quantify that? Because I just saw some data on jobs and the jobless rates through the floor. So I don't know. What do we call the better economy?
You know what I think is a fair way to do this, Joe? I think we could argue if the third, because we won't have fourth quarter GDP numbers next year when we're doing this, but if the third quarter GDP is 3% or more.
3%?
Yeah, 3% the third quarter or more. I would say things are going pretty well, wouldn't you?
I would say that's definitely better than the 1.2.
Yeah.
Right?
So shall we ask it that? Will third quarter GDP be 3% or higher?
I think we go with that.
And guess what, Len?
It did. I think 2 quarters in a row, 3%.
That's correct. The third quarter was 3%. So you hit the number, and let's see if the 8-ball got it right.
Sounds good.
Yep, Melinda, that's your question, whether you want it to be or not.
Yeah, Green Room asks a question, then we totally revise it.
That's right.
It says, concentrate and ask again. So hold on.
You're not focused enough, Len. Maybe it's because we've been recording forever.
Very doubtful. Very doubtful.
Ooh. Whoa.
The 8-ball.
Unbelievable.
8-ball back at 500.
This is not good. Now I'm nervous.
You got to start telling the 8-ball that maybe there's a trip to Walmart in your future.
I don't know.
To get another one.
A little sign that says free to good home.
Right. Yeah.
My gosh. Again, that was right on the hairy edge. That was kind of like the 3%. No, it was right on the 3 number, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to get closer than that Chile thing earlier. Holy cow. It was so amazing. All right. We are now at 500. Let's see what we've got now.
Alex asks, will Greg buy a new car and not stop talking about it again this year?
That might be my favorite question. And I feel bad now that Greg, for those of you that haven't, that missed the news, Greg's not with us starting next week. OG's going to be on the roundtable, but Greg will definitely be missed. But
let's be clear, he is alive.
He is alive.
He's
Yes.
not like not with us in the,
Good point. Greg just wrote to me. He's like, listen, I've got no reason to be out here anymore. My book is several years old now, and I no longer write for Investopedia. I don't have my blog, and so Greg is retired from the show. But Greg didn't really talk about a new car, did he?
When did he get the Range Rover? Was that this year or last year?
You know, it's funny. That was 2016. He beat that to Alex's point. I think that was the name of who asked this question. He beat that horse pretty well. But I think in 2017, I don't remember in episodes recently, Paula, that he talked about the Range Rover much.
Right. I think I would probably know if he got a new car. And to my knowledge, the Range Rover was the most recent car that he's purchased.
The answer here then is no, right? So let's see what the 8-ball said, Len.
That's very important question asked by Alex. Yeah, his trip to Land Rover was interesting. All right. Will it happen, Len?
Alex, it says signs point to yes.
Oh boy.
My gosh. Ooh. Oh, my Lord.
And we drop below 500.
Well, Greg did get a different vacation destination.
Yes.
Something about his life changed this year.
Yes, that's
he normally winters in Maui, and this year he's wintering in Miami.
But we didn't ask that. We should have had you ask that, Paula.
I know. I ask eerily specific questions.
You ask all the greatest questions. All right, so the 8-ball ends. That is it. We asked 11 questions and 5 yes, 6 no. But I want to go back. Len, to this point, which when the three of us asked the questions, it was great. And when we went all willy-nilly and asked anybody, the 8-ball went to crap.
Maybe it had performance anxiety in front of new people. I have no idea, Joe.
Right. Well, we're going to give we're going to have some coping time for the Magic 8-ball. Here for just a second. We've got Doug waiting in the wings to ask us some trivia. So let's have the trivia, and then we will be back with this year's questions to Magic 8-ball and your questions to us.
Hey there, trivia fans. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and I'm sure this Magic 8-ball's got to be broken. I asked if the Sizzler is the best place for seafood, and it keeps saying, very doubtful. What's that about? Hey, Joe, time for a new 8-ball. I think you can spring for it. But first, how about some trivia, huh? Here's today's question. While I should file a patent to protect anyone from stealing my awesome trivia, Albert C. Carter actually did file a patent for a liquid-filled dice agitator, aka the Magic 8-ball, which was inspired by a spirit writing device his mother used as a clairvoyant. Yeah, this all sounds totally legit. Hey, here's the question, though. What year did Mr. Carter file his patent? The outlook is good that I'll be back with your answer in just a moment.
Thanks to Audible for supporting our podcast. For our audience, Audible's offering a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial. If you want to listen to it, Audible has it. Just go to audible.com/SB or text SB to 500-500 and browse their unmatched selection of audio content. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Millions of Audible members access performances by entertainers, magazines, and amazing narrators. Might be wondering what I'm listening to. Well, after I finished up listening to Scott Trench's amazing book, Set for Life, I now am into Ray Dalio's book, Principles. And here's why I think you might like it too. I like listening to books that profile or are by people who are at the top of their craft doing their best work. And Ray Dalio, of course, one of the best investors of our time. So when I get somebody who's not only at the head of their field, but also that field happens to be finance, and I get to hear his principles and what he thinks about, I think that's something that we'd all enjoy. So Principles by Ray Dalio, my Audible pick. And I know how much you stackers love sometimes speeding up or slowing down this show. Well, guess what? Audible also has speed control. Listen faster or slower, narration at the speed that suits you. Get a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial at audible.com/SB or text SB to 500-500. That's AUDIBLE.com/SB or text SB to 500-500.
All right, raise your hand. Do you drive an extra 5 minutes in traffic to save just a few pennies at the gas pump? Well, when's the last time you spent 5 minutes trying to save on the big things like auto loans? Lucky for you, we brought in Nick Clemens from Magnify Money with a few tips on saving money if you find yourself financing a car.
If you're buying a new car, there's really no better deal than the 0% financing that would be offered by the manufacturer. The issue really starts to happen if you don't qualify for the manufacturer's financing or you're buying a used car. And in those cases, I think it's a very good idea to always shop online and get a low rate before you walk onto the lot. Chances are high that the dealer will beat it, but if you don't walk onto the lot with a low rate to begin with, you won't get the best deal.
Thanks, Nick. More than just auto loans, Magnify Money's the perfect spot for reviewing just how well or not your checking and savings accounts are performing. You might just decide to switch banks, and guess what? Why stick with just one bank at all when you can use magnifymoney.com to always find best-in-class stuff? StackyBenjamins.com/Magnify Money. Average person saves $450 in interest when they go there. StackyBenjamins.com/Magnify Money.
Hey there, magical finance question lovers, you. You know, earlier, I asked Joe's mom if I could borrow her Harley to head to the Sizzler tonight with the Magic 8 Ball to defend the restaurant's honor when it comes to seafood. But when she answered, she said, "My reply is no." But I'm pretty sure she must have meant yes, definitely, but shook that 8 ball one too many times. You know, it happens. It happens to the untrained Magic 8 Ball shakers. Signs point to yes, that your trivia is about to happen, so let's bring it. Here was the question. What year did Albert Carter file his patent for the liquid-filled dice agitator, aka the Magic 8 Ball? The answer? If you said 1957, I'd say, my reply is no. But if you answered 1940, I'd tell you without a doubt. See ya!
How's the Magic 8 Ball feeling, Len?
I think the Magic 8 Ball is battle tested, but as the proud parent of this 8 Ball, I feel kind of down right now. I'm trying not to show it in front of the 8 Ball, but
I think we just got to go back to the fact when the three of us asked it questions, we were fine. So we got to go back to that. Maybe we got to be a little more protective of the 8 Ball.
No. It's the more people that get in, the more fun it is.
Oh. Looks like someone needs help. All three of those O's are sponsored by Blooom with 3 O's. Smart, simple 401k management. It's that time of year again. We all make good-natured New Year's resolutions and hoping to change our lives for the better. Then February hits, can't even spell New Year's resolution. Well, this year's different. Make a resolution to get your retirement on track and fix your 401k with Blooom. That's Blooom with 3 O's. Sounds tough? It's not. It only takes 5 minutes. Head to stackingbenjamins.com/Blooom, BLOOM, for more. And
you know what, Joe? You need to say Blooom like remember that guy way back when, the Smith Barney guy, Smith Barney. You got to say Blooom.
Blooom.
There's 3 O's.
Blooom with 3 O's. How about that? And today's I need help comes to us from our good friend Erin. Say hi, Erin.
Hi, Joe and OG. Question about 529 plans. Currently, I'm in a low income tax bracket, but have enough disposable income that I'm looking for something to do with it. For 529 plans, if I open one in the current state that I live in, but then when it's time to use it, don't use it in the state that it started in, how do I transfer it to a different state? Or should I just pick a state that I think it will likely be used in? How does that actually work? Are there tax implications for opening it in a different state that you live in, starting it in the state that you live in, and then moving and then needing to use it when you don't live in that state anymore? How does that actually work? I know you said don't let the tail wag the dog, but someone's got to wag it. Speaking of dogs, hey, Doug.
It's so bad. I love how Erin gets the Doug rip in there at the last second. Paula, you know what we should start with? We should actually start with defining a 529 plan. And you're so good at definitions. Let's kick it off there. What the heck is a 529 plan? What's Erin talking about?
So a 529 plan is a tax-advantaged type of account. It's a tax-advantaged savings account that is designed for qualified educational expenses. So people often use 529 plans to save for generally college or university tuition for their offspring or others.
Len, did you use a 529 plan? You have 2 children. Do you use a 529 plan for your kids?
No, I didn't. I didn't know what the future was going to hold for my kids, and it was just too much unknowns. And I decided, you know what, I would be setting money aside, and I just decided to do it outside of a 529 plan. It's just something that I just wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't even certain my kids were even going to go to college.
Well, and that's the issue though, Len, with a 529 plan, right? If they didn't, there's a penalty on the interest that it makes to get the money out. So you could be handcuffed if they didn't.
Well, exactly. That's what I thought in this case, it's kind of ironic. I thought I'd have more flexibility just by not taking part in the 529 and it's kind of setting aside in my own private savings for 5.
I feel like
instead of a 529.
I feel like though, Paula, he's talking about about the magic 8 ball here, where Len's like, I'm not sure if it's going to be around. Why would I save for it if it's going to be out by the curb by the weekend?
You know what? In retrospect, I should have just asked the darn 8 ball if my kids were going to go to college.
Well, you would have got the wrong answer. You would have probably got the wrong answer at this point.
All right, me and the 8 ball are out of here.
Erin, here's the cool thing about your 529 plan question is that so 529 plans make it tax deferred, but the cool thing is most plans are portable, meaning you can use them in any state. So a lot of the time, like, when my kids were young, we were in Michigan, but we used a plan that was in Utah that used Vanguard funds. We used that plan for their 529 plans because I went with a plan that had lower expenses than the Michigan plan had. The Michigan plan actually offers a tax deduction for using that plan, but it wasn't a big tax deduction, so I went ahead and used a different state. So most states open their 529 plans to anybody in the country, and you can also use it anywhere in the country. So my kids started off growing up in Michigan, then did their high school years in Texas. My son went to the University of Texas, my daughter to the University of Arkansas. Their plan was through Utah, which had nothing to do with anything, right? So you can use the plan wherever you want. Plans mostly are flexible. Just make sure you ask if the plan's portable, and then which the answer is probably going to be yes. And then you're okay. So all of the things you're worried about, do I have to live in the state? Do I have to transfer it? It's way, way easier than people think. And Paula, that's what bothers me about some of these plans, about like 529 plans. I think people make them more complicated than they really are. Like a 529 plan, pretty darn easy.
Well, it sounds rather misleading then. Not anything to do with you or but the setup of the plan, the fact that it is administered by the state,
right,
seems to be a little bit misleading if you don't actually have to live in the state or go to school in the state or have any association with the state whatsoever, including the ability to spell the name of the state.
Right. Although Utah, I can spell.
Are you sure?
Mississippi.
Better ask the 8 ball.
That's right. Don't ask the 8 ball.
YOUTA.
Thanks for the question, Erin. If you have a question for the Blooom Friday hotline, send those to Joe at Stacking Benjamins. Actually, know where you go? Head to stackingbenjamins.com and you'll see the spot where you call out to the Blooom Friday hotline. We also get letters down here in the basement. And guys, I've got a great letter today. Today's letter comes to us from Kim. She says, hello to everyone in the basement. I'm curious what your thoughts are on where my family should put our extra income. We've been saving an extra $1,000 a month after our expenses. That's fantastic, by the way. And I'm not sure if we should put it toward the $42,000 in student loans we have with about 6% interest, a $17,000 auto loan with 2% interest, or save it for a larger down payment to build a house. We're planning to build next year after we sell our current home. Our retirement emergency fund and the kids 529, speaking of 529s, kids 529s, they're all in good shape and we have great credit. Any thoughts would be appreciated. So, Len, it sounds like they're in really good shape. This is my favorite type of question to answer. What do you do with the extra $1,000 a month?
Yeah, what a tough problem, huh? Yeah,
right.
$1,000 extra bucks. You know what? I mean, naturally, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the $42,000 with the 6% interest. It's the highest loan that they owe. It's a high percentage rate. I wouldn't put it towards the larger down payment. I'm always a big fan of leveraging as much as you can on your loan for your home. If you're going to have a home, don't tie up as much as you can with the down payment. I don't think usually these low interest rates, it's not that big of a deal. So to me, I would put it towards paying off that $42,000 at 6%.
Yeah, Paula, what do you think? Do you agree with Len?
Well, it depends on whether or not putting this money towards the down payment on their next home would allow them to waive PMI. If they can get out of making PMI or MIP payments on this next home by virtue of putting that extra $1,000 a month towards it, then do that, because that way they'll save an extra fee. If, however, they already have a 20% down payment that they can put on the next home, I would attack that $42,000 debt because it has a 6% interest rate. Yep. And that is likely to be a higher interest rate than what they will be paying on their home.
Yeah. Can you define for the non-homeowners out there, PMI, or people that are just new to the financial world? Because they might not even know what this is. And it's a bear. I mean, it's a real bear.
Sure. PMI stands for private mortgage insurance. If a person puts down if a home buyer puts down less than 20% of a down payment on a home, then most lenders will require them to hold this private mortgage insurance. That private mortgage insurance, it's an insurance, so it's an additional thing that you buy. It's usually mandatory by the lender, and it's an extra fee. It adds more expense to what you have to pay every month. Now, once you build 20% equity into your home by virtue of making your mortgage payments and paying down the principal over time, you will, once you have that 20% equity, be able to get out of PMI payments. But that doesn't happen automatically. You have to contact the lender and jump through some hoops and go through some paperwork. And it's a bit of a process, in addition to the fact that you've also paid all of this extra money. So if you can avoid that, ideally, you should. MIP, by the way, which I've also mentioned, is similar to PMI, but MIP is what you are charged if you have a home with an FHA loan.
I think we've got one more. There's an elephant in the room here, though, Paula, which is we don't know what the 8-ball thinks. So Len, the 8-ball should answer too, I think, in all fairness. Should Kim put the extra money toward the down payment of the house? Yes or no?
Well, let's find out, shall we? Shakaroo here. And the answer is yes, definitely.
The 8-ball's full of crap, Paula. I totally disagree with the 8-ball.
I do too.
Yeah.
Hey, Len, can you ask the 8-ball if they should just put it all on Bitcoin?
That's right. I think we're going to do that later. Actually, you know what? Let's get into that. Can we, Paula? So let's transition to the next part, which is our 2018 predictions. These are the ones we're going to play back for next year, and I can't wait to hear what you guys got. Hopefully, everybody's got 3 of them, and Paula will go ladies first. Why don't we start with you?
All right. On the day that Prince Harry marries Meghan Markle, will it rain in the location of their wedding? Will it rain in London on their wedding day?
Good question. And here we go. This is not satisfying. Cannot predict now.
Oh, you got to do it again.
Do it again.
We'll do it again.
Yes, force it.
You know what it is right now? The 8-ball is gun shy. It's just put on a poor performance for the crowd, and now it's afraid to answer anything. Okay. Oh, back to yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. It will rain on Prince Harry's wedding day.
Wow. Is that a good sign for the marriage? I don't know if there's good luck involved with that or not.
I can't imagine that would be good luck. I'm not up on British superstition, but
you know,
sounds lucky.
When are they getting married?
Sometime in the spring.
Okay. As long as you're not saying July, maybe there's a chance that it's going to rain.
I mean, they're getting married in Britain. There's always a chance it's going to rain.
Everything's a rhyme, though. I mean, marriage with rain, feel no pain, right? I mean, could be good. I don't know.
Is that a saying? Or did you just make that up?
I totally just made that up. I have no idea. Right. All right. Len,
Your brain lost your brain.
Yeah, that's probably better. All right. So, Len, we're going to give it only one question from the peanut gallery. How about that?
Okay.
One question, and then we'll kick this baby off. So we've got a question here from Daryl to kick off our 2018.
This is Daryl from Pennsylvania. I have a question for the Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball, do you think Bitcoin is going to cross the $50,000 barrier in 2018?
Will Bitcoin, and we got to go, I like this December 1st because of our recording schedule, and we all take some time off for the holidays. By December 1st of 2018, will Bitcoin reach $50,000?
Okay. The 8 Ball says you may rely on it. And I think, oh my gosh, Mr. 8 Ball. I'm not feeling too good about these first two answers.
I am not either.
All right. It's going to rain on Prince Harry's wedding day, but we won't care because we'll be so rich on Bitcoin.
Yeah, we'll be dancing. Len, you're
we'll be
up.
singing in the rain.
I had a very heartbreaking fall. My Dodgers didn't make it, lost in Game 7 of the World Series at home to the Astros.
Right.
So I'm just dying to know, will the Dodgers even get to the World Series? Next year in 2018. And let's see what the 8 Ball says. You may rely on it.
They will go to the World Series.
They will go. This is not a prediction of winning. It is a prediction that they will go to the World Series.
You heard it here first, but man, looking at their roster, Len, that could happen.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. So many things happen. It's just, who knows?
Let's do round 2. Paula, what do you got?
All right. In honor of making weirdly specific questions, I want to know if the guy who voices Homer Simpson, the voice actor Dan Castaneda, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's the voice actor who voices Homer Simpson. I want to know if he's going to get sick next year, if anything's going to happen to him in 2018.
Wow,
that is a deep,
I know,
left field question.
I know it's completely random, but the thought just kind of struck me earlier tonight that if we lost the voice of Homer Simpson, we would really lose something powerful.
So that's how we're measuring the question?
Yeah, people don't.
Will Dan Castellaneta, I can't pronounce his last name, get sick next year? Yes or no?
Okay. So we know how we're measuring that, right? What if he has to cease being the voice of the, or it's announced that he has to stop being the voice of Homer?
I don't think he has to be. I don't think he has to stop.
He has to stop. I just think that it has to come into the media that he is suffering from some sort of health issue.
Okay. The 8 Ball, much to Dan's delight, is don't count on it.
Right. Well, I know, Paula. Dan's a big listener to the show, so that's good for him. Dan's all about the Stacking Benjamin show. I thought you were going to like Argentina next. Is the stock market going to do 18.5?
She still has one question left.
She does. That's right. All right. My second one?
Yes.
I got to do the basic stock market one, right? Because it's a stock show. So the stock market averaging about 10.2% over the long term. Will the stock market do better than 10%? Better than 10%? Wow. We got to do by December 1st, don't we? So
yes, we do.
I'm just going to go year to date because it's so much easier to look up. I learned that.
Just say, okay. Is that how you want to do it?
Yeah. So January through the 1st of December or up to the first 11 months of the year. Let's do it that way. First 11 months of the year, will the stock market do 10% or better?
Here we go. Very doubtful.
Oh, well, that would kind of make sense, Paula, because it's about time.
Whew. What goes up must come down, huh?
Talk about reversion to the mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, that's not good news, though, Len.
No, not if you've got, not if you're heavily into the stock market. But hey, you never know. I thought there was going to be hyperinflation in the end of the world in 2017, and look, here we are.
We made it through.
We'll have Homer Simpson to guide us through.
Right. Is that a prelude to your question? Are we going to finally? Yes, I thought that was you're headed that way.
My question, 8-Ball, is will gold on December 1st, 2018, will gold be at a new all-time high? I think the current high is around $1,900. So will it have met or surpassed its all-time high?
Oh, that's an easy yes.
You think so?
I do think so.
Let's see what the 8-Ball says. Well, the 8-Ball agrees with you. It says, as I see it, yes.
What do you think, Paula? You think that's an easy yes or not in that game of predicting?
I'm not in the game of predicting for any type of investment purpose, but just in terms of armchair speculation, I don't see gold. I just don't see gold going up next year.
That's a huge gain. I mean, that's a 32% gain on the year, Joe.
I don't know,
that's
man.
Pretty hefty.
We shall see what 2018 gives us.
All right. Joe, you're almost sounding like, what are you expecting Armageddon?
No. No, but when gold...
Do I need to put another setting on the table in the bunker?
when gold, that'd be very nice. Thank you. I take my steak medium rare.
You can have some of my meals ready to eat. We can share with you.
Right. Gold goes up in spurts, right? So it's not going to do a 10% year like the stock market. It's not going to do a real estate thing. It's going to do, if it's going to go big. And it's been a while. It's been a little while for gold. So, Paula, we're on the last round. Your last crack at the amazing, I say that in air quotes, Magic 8-Ball.
Well, it's been a bit of a tradition that every year I ask the 8-Ball one question about the British royal family and one question about an ETF that relates to Latin America.
It is. I love how we have.
Again.
I can't believe though, guys. I can't believe we're old enough that we have traditions on this show. Traditionally, I have to ask.
So this year, in keeping with that time-honored tradition, I am going to ask about ticker symbol ILF, which is the iShares Latin America 40 ETF.
Little salsa in the mix.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I want to know if the year-to-date return over the first 11 months of the year will be higher than 19%.
I thought you were
19% or higher.
Come on, I thought you were going to say 19.98.
I'll give it some margin of error.
Yeah.
See, these kind of questions really throw the 8-Ball. I think the 8-Ball understands just how close these questions could be. It says concentrate and ask again.
Paula?
Right, I'm concentrating very, very hard.
Be very careful in your wording here.
Okay. In the first 11 months of the year 2018, will ticker symbol ILF have a year-to-date return of 19% or higher?
It is decidedly so.
Wow.
Hey, all you Stacking Benjamins fans, you got it. You've got the tip from the 8-Ball.
There it is. You got a 50-50 shot based on the 8-Ball. Predictive power. The predictive power of the 8-Ball. We should charge $39.95 for that.
Put out a newsletter and the whole thing.
That's right.
The 8-Balls newsletter for stocks.
Did you? Rick Edelman talked.
People should have a newsletter for stocks. Len, that's brilliant.
Rick Edelman has nothing on the 8-Ball.
All right, let's do. Oh, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
I thought of. I'm trying to take a page out of Paula's handbook and do something wildly specific. So, Paula doesn't see many movies. How many movies did you see in 2017, Paula?
Oh, I saw the movie Coco, and I saw Murder on the Orient Express.
Both great.
Yeah, I like them both. And I saw Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls.
Of course you did, because that's what Paulas do. So here's the question, Len. Will Paula Pant see a Star Wars movie in 2018? Have you ever seen a Star Wars movie?
I have not.
Oh, so is 2018 the year?
I mean, I can tell you what I think the answer will be, but let's see what the 8-Ball says.
Now, is she supposed to listen to the answer here? This is kind of.
That's right. Paula, you can't listen to the answer, so you want to disconnect for a second?
Okay.
Just give us 15 seconds with your ears closed. All right.
I'm taking my earphones out.
Here we got 15
3, 2, 1.
seconds.
Goodbye.
Okay, here we go, Joe. The answer is you may rely on it. You may rely on it.
I'm totally sure she will. All right.
Okay.
Let's wait for her to come back. That's so great. This seriously is my favorite episode of the year.
Me too.
Paula, we said 15 seconds, not 15 minutes. Paula went to get a beer. There she is.
I took the earbuds out and read a People magazine article on Harry and Meghan.
Awesome. Well, we said 15 seconds, not 15 minutes. So we're like waiting. So Paula, you heard none of that.
I did not hear any of that. I took the earbuds out.
Excellent. So she has no idea, Len, whether she should have or shouldn't have. Yep. So, and that means the last one, right? We have the last one, Len.
Yes. And sticking with my occasional Armageddon theme, I did the earthquake last year. This year, let's shoot for something that's kind of rare, but it happens. Hurricanes. You know, we have the big problems with the hurricanes in the Caribbean, and this year, several of them hit, unfortunately, the U.S. This time I'm going to ask the 8-ball, is one going to hit landfall on the Hawaiian Islands? And I guess we'll call it
boy.
And I guess, how do we say that? Does it have to strike landfall exactly in Hawaii, or does it just have to close the airport down?
I think if we close the airport down, don't you think, Paula?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's
that's horrible.
That's adequately serious.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So if any airports on the Big Island or Maui or Oahu are shut down due to a hurricane, then that will be considered the hurricane hitting Hawaii.
Let's go. Fair enough? Go for no.
All right. Here we go. Don't count on it.
Good deal.
Again, another good one.
Yes. Fantastic. That's a great way to leave it, by the way.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for another one of my favorite episode. Len, I think it's time for a trip to Walmart to see if we can get 8-Ball Jr. But let's talk about other fun stuff. What's going on where you guys live? Paula, you are cranking up 2018 like you just don't care.
Totally. I'm cranking out a new podcast episode every week.
What's up with that?
So, I know, right? So on the Afford Anything podcast, every other week, I answer questions that come from the audience. Several of those weeks, a certain Joe Salsi High happens to be on the episode with me. So tune in for that, the Afford Anything podcast.
I heard that guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's okay. He's a little better than the 8-Ball. Nearly. Len Penzo, what's happening at lenpenzo.com?
Hey, for the new year, 7 great careers that don't require a lot of experience to start.
Oh, I love that too.
Really interesting. There actually are careers out there where you can actually make a good living and you don't need a lot of experience.
That is fantastic. So if you're looking to start off year 2018 on the right foot, go to the Afford Anything podcast and hit up lenpenzo.com. So thanks, guys, and Happy New Year to both of you.
Same to you, Joe. And Paula.
Yes, Happy New Year.
So, what did the Magic 8-Ball teach us today? First, starting a 529 plan? Well, if you think that's the best way to save for college for your child, we'd say most likely. Second, wondering about how the Colombian stock market's going to perform? Ask Paula Pant, clearly. But the big lesson, don't tell Joe's mom that the 8-Ball is going to be your date at the Sizzler tonight for some surf and turf. She'll tell you the 8-Ball says, don't count on it, pal. I said, hey, lady, can't we compromise on Outlook Hazy? She said the 8-Ball replied with, very doubtful. Looks like the 8-Ball and Joe's mom are ganging up on me. I'm telling you, that lady does not need any help from the 8-Ball. Time for some new friends.
Paula Pant appears courtesy of AffordAnything.com. Len Penzo appears courtesy of the cryptically named LenPenzo.com. The Pope appears frequently on a balcony in Vatican Square.
When you're done messing around with us, who do you want to teach you some money tricks? That nerd who talks over your head or your favorite basement-based geeks? Kathleen Selmans operates our Stacking Benjamins classroom, and to make up for the fact that we don't teach you anything here on the show, she's created a whole lot of tools
you'll absolutely love. Head to learn.stackingbenjamins.com for details. And use coupon code DougRocks for 10% off. Yeah, you're welcome. This show was created by Joe Saul-Sehy, produced by Richie Rutter-Reese, and engineered by the amazing Steve Stewart. Online, visit us on Twitter at @SBenjaminsCast or on our Facebook page. Shannon Cowan is our community manager and social media guru. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and I do not like computer jokes, not one bit. SB Podcasts may receive payment on the show from sponsors and guests in the form of books, giveaway items, discounts, or other remuneration. There's no way you would take advice from these dorks, but like Joe's mom always says, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only, and before making any financial moves, consult with a real financial advisor.
Okay, I've sat here trying to think of something pleasant to say after that, and I can't.
I want to go back just for a second and reminisce about what we said after that, because I thought this was pretty good.
Prince Harry's gonna be a bachelor.
Hello, ladies.
And what really gets me is that the 8-Ball here has other sources. Apparently, it doesn't make its own mind up sometimes. It has to go to outside sources, according to this. And so, anyways, its outside sources say no, Paula.
Actually, we got to cut that out. Wait, never mind. I thought that was going to be better. I should have cut that. All right, Steve.
I thought this show was going to be better.
Yeah, someday this show's going to be better.